Very good evening, viewers. We are continuing with our coverage, and in just a few moments, we're going to start some projections. Padmaja with us, and so, of course, the Jai Mrug. Unbeatable combination this evening, viewers, of psephology, insights, and, of course, opinion. I want you to remember, there is a huge reason to be fixated tonight, all through 5 hours. Why, viewers? Because, yes, while there are elections happening for 2 states, and their assemblies, Gujarat and Himachal, there has also been a very high-stakes battle in Delhi, the MCD local body elections. Now, usually, local body elections, except for perhaps Mumbai, don't become national talking points. But here, there is a very real reason to have the larger conversation, and I'll come back to that in just 30 seconds. There is also a very important bipole happening in Mainpuri, which is known as the bastion of the first family of the Samajwadi Party, the Yadavs. And there, the stakes couldn't be higher. Akhilesh's own wife is contesting, and it's a bipole for the Lok Sabha. You can call it a bellwether for the state of Uttar Pradesh, because, as you know, the lead contender today, the challenger to the BJP, Mr. Yogi Adityanath's government there, is Akhilesh Yadav. If he loses, it's going to be an uphill battle ahead of the Lok Sabha elections in Uttar Pradesh, and you can, I don't know, conservatively say that the BJP might even come with 75 seats in that Lok Sabha election. Viewers, it's a very important election. Our eyes are on that also. And then in just a few weeks, the Bengal Panchayat polls, both these states, viewers, Bengal, Delhi, and Uttar Pradesh, are extremely critical in setting the national mood. Why? Simply because the various contenders there, the challengers there, see themselves as the only formations to stop the BJP going into 2024. So the Delhi election is going to give you a barometer sentiment about what could potentially be the reaction amongst the people here to the AAP's campaign. The Delhi model is what is projected across every state that the Aam Aadmi Party contests. And if the Delhi model itself is rejected by people on the ground, it could prove problematic. Don't you think, Padmaja? Don't you think, Jay?
Yeah. Absolutely. So, you know, why the MCD elections are important is because it might be a municipal body election, but the scale of campaigning and the messaging is exactly what we have seen in Gujarat, what we have seen in Himachal, and what in all likelihood we will see in all states and eventually the Lok Sabha election. The fact that there is a new kid on the block, he or she means business, and we are going to give a tough fight to the BJP, which is the Aam Aadmi Party. Here is counting down to the Delhi projections that we are going to put out in just a few seconds from now.
Exactly. If I might add, Padmaja and Jay, the focus of the BJP's campaign here in Delhi, viewers, has been very simple. The Aam Aadmi Party cannot be trusted to give you clean governance. The Aam Aadmi Party was born out of an anti-corruption movement. Don't forget, India Against Corruption. Dr. Ranganathan, you will remember the hysteria around that particular movement. A large number of people participated voluntarily, and the AAP was seen perhaps as a beacon of a clean politics. But if that charge by the BJP sticks here in Delhi, it could prove problematic for the AAP as it takes its model of clean governance to other states. There is also, of course, the freebie factor that comes in. Delhi's victory, many people say, is built on the freebies that the Aam Aadmi Party gave. But all of that becomes academic. Let's just try and make those projections. Padmaja, if we have those numbers, as R. Rajagopalan also joins us. Yes.
Let's go straight away, cut to the chase, and show you the voting percentage first of who got how many votes according to our MCD exit poll. And here are the numbers. We've put out, in fact, the seats first, and we've got 39 going with the BJP, 11 Congress, and 45%. I think this is the percentage. It's the percentage, 45% to the Aam Aadmi Party. What do you make of this, Jay?
Very clearly, you look at it in a different way. The Aam Aadmi Party has never governed the MCD before, right? So it has some sort of a novelty factor with it. Yeah, I think that explains that 6% gap. Otherwise, I believe it was on the way to a tough fight by the BJP. The other reason why the election becomes important is because the AAP would try and showcase this, and Tom is as one more step to further its growth as a national party, register itself as a national party. Those are the only two reasons they are drawing so much curiosity out there.
Okay, let me quickly open this up and also ask our guests, do you think that this is resonance of Kejriwal's message, which said Kejriwal ki sarkar, Kejriwal ke parshad? Tehseen Poonawala.
Yes, if these results hold true, and I see no doubt with Jay and your fantastic team why they shouldn't hold true, then yes, the messaging has been Mr. Kejriwal. He has managed to sell that he's the Chief Minister of Delhi. He's not being allowed to work at a local level where the BJP is obstructing him. And to be fair to him, he was the face. It also was that the BJP, I think, strategically erred in attacking him in Delhi because that's his strong fort. And if you know, and Times Now broke that story, he left the campaigning in Gujarat early to come back to Delhi and campaign. And that was the reason I think that he managed to pull some
let's
ground.
get opening comments from GVL Narasimha Rao also. This will be a downer for you, Mr. Rao.
Padmaja, Rahul, the entire team, good evening and namaskar to all of you. The projections that you put out, I think these are vote shares. But let me tell you from my experience, the 6% gap, I don't know what your sample sizes are, whether it's a large enough sample size, whether it's a representative sample size at all.
18,750. And
was it a
representative
sample? Is it an exit poll? Can you
I'll just tell
give
you,
some
average,
details about, because
I'll just tell you,
on any numbers.
if you allow me, total wards in MCD 250. So we looked at 250 wards. Total sample size about 18,750. Average sample size about 75 from each ward. And there's a margin of error of plus minus 3%, which is quite standard.
Is this an exit poll, Jay?
Yes.
Is it an exit poll or is it a post poll?
It's an exit poll.
So we've shown the
No,
vote share. The vote share is 39 for
No.
BJP,
Can I hear this from Jay if he has done the poll?
No, this is ETG. This is a pollster that we have contracted.
Okay, because you see, lot of times people are doing telephone polls, all kinds of polls.
This is a ground-based poll. Ground-based poll. We were on the ground. There was no, supposedly no, at least that's what our pollster tells us.
No.
Now that you raised an eyebrow.
See, I'm not saying the poll is not genuine. I wanted to know exactly the nature of data collection. Is it a representative sample
it's a
or is
face-to-face
it
survey? Face-to-face survey. Yeah, face-to-face survey.
I know, you see, it can be face-to-face and it can purely be convenience. There are many ways. See, when the voters are so polarized, the 6% gap that you project doesn't appear to be a very large enough gap. If you have massive sampling errors, so this could go for a toss. So I think you need to exercise some caution when you project based on surveys which are not exactly randomized surveys.
Okay, let's take a look then at the seat share. Vote share, you're saying there is room for a lot of error. What is the seat share at present? And here is what our survey tells us. 146 to 156 to the Aam Aadmi Party, and the BJP is just about half of that at 84 to 94. Congress 6 to 10, and the others don't really have a presence. Absolutely. Before I get you to respond,
let me very quickly also tell you that there is a similar projection that has happened on another news channel, and there the seats are pretty much in the same ballpark. So I'm just trying to get those numbers up on our screen in just a few moments. But what we are seeing is that the projected vote for the AAP in the MCD might be about 43%, which is about 2% less than what we are projecting. The BJP will be getting about 35% of the vote, which is about 4% less than what we are projecting. The Congress 10%, and the others at about 12%. So the others in that particular poll much more than the others projected here, Padmaja. But seats also, there's a very, very close correlation to the data. So AAP is set to get this simple majority to get about 149 to 171 seats, or 140 to 171 seats. I can't quite make out the exact number. The BJP to get around 68 to about 91 seats. So
yeah, which is in the same
region
of the 60 to 80 ballpark figure.
Yeah. Yes.
Dr. Sumansi Raman, since you are a vociferous supporter of the Aam Aadmi Party, let's have your first reaction, because a lot of people are already casting doubts.
Vociferous supporter. Okay, first of all, Padmaja, I mean,
We
I
applaud it.
enjoyed and I will laugh that one away where I'm called a vociferous supporter of the Aam Aadmi Party. Never mind. But let's face facts. The vote share difference between the two parties is likely to be closer to 8 to 10% if this is the seat projections which are being made. Let's face it, this is a sweep. It's not an unexpected event because after all BJP has ruled the MCD for 15 years. People want a change. I think that this constant blame game of Aam Aadmi Party and BJP blaming each other for every little thing that goes wrong in Delhi, I think that the voter would have felt, okay, anyway, they've given Kejriwal a mandate to rule the state. So they might as well give his own party so that this blame game can at least come
Raja
to an end.
Gopalan,
But
what
I
do you
think
make
that
of
if
this?
there is
Are people sick of the blame
complete
game?
lack of
They're saying
doubt
that, look,
about any of the
let's have
projections,
consistency
Aam
and
Aadmi Party
continuity
is
so that no hurdles are created in the way of delivery of services to the public.
I go with Jay Murul. First time Aam Aadmi Party is getting into the Municipal Corporation of Delhi. Whatever the exit poll may be, projections or seat numbers, whatever that, I would like to differ from Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao and also Mr. Sumant Raman. It's a victory for Aam Aadmi Party. We have to concede that. Apart from that, it's a tight poll. There is no anti-incumbency. It is 50-50%. So if you project with that, my understanding is BJP will give a tough fight to Aam Aadmi Party, but Aam Aadmi Party is going to get the mayorship of Delhi. That is which is coming very clear from the exit poll.
Mr. Rao, you unified the MCD and yet it all came to naught.
Padmaja, I think it's too early to jump to any conclusions. I think the last 2-3 elections we have seen how people of Delhi have flipped between assembly elections to Lok Sabha elections to MCD elections. So there are several such flips and turns that happen in Delhi.
Okay.
And therefore, and the vote shares that you project based on the survey that was done also doesn't seem like a big gap between the two parties.
Okay, but let's
so I think
hypothetically...
therefore don't jump to
hang
conclusions.
on. One second,
don't
one
jump
second.
to conclusions.
No one is jumping to any conclusions. And the caveat being, of course, viewers, that these are projections. We are trying to approximate the voter's mind. We won't have the results till, of course, 2 more days. I think the 7th is when the results come out in Delhi. Putting all those caveats, and yes, of course, that exit polls are not always right, especially when it comes to tracking a complex, small, very, very focused state like Delhi. It's very difficult, but nonetheless, hypothetically, let's play along. I don't think, and there's a poll of polls also on Delhi, which we're going to just put out, so we'll get a better sense of the ranges, really. And usually, not 1, but 2 or 3 exit polls gives you a basic thrust, right? GVL Narasimha Rao, you've been a pollster, so I'm just going to ask you, where do you think you would have fallen short in your messaging? Is it that you don't have credible leaders at the state level? Or are you overdoing the business of suggesting that the AAP is involved in corruption charges, this, that, the other, without actually making any of these charges stick?
Rahul, I will certainly give my political comment on this, but there have been occasions where all polls have gone wrong also. Having been a pollster myself, I'm making that admission. But going by your numbers, you want me to take that as a hypothetical number and comment. You see, the Delhi will continue to be a union territory, irrespective of who rules in Delhi state governments or in Delhi MCD.
MP, you said
so constitutionally, you see, I heard Sumant Raman possibly say that, okay, this is going to change the way Delhi functions. No, certainly.
I'm
part
sorry
of civic.
I apologize for interrupting.
Can I just complete my statement?
Sorry to interrupt you, very
civic...
important. You said Delhi will continue to remain a union territory, but the BJP in its manifesto promised statehood. So is the BJP MP now saying he lied to the people of Delhi? Perhaps that's why you lost credibility?
We're not going back in time. Today,
so you are lying there.
Assuming your numbers are right, Rahul, I did not
sorry.
When others spoke. I don't like this.
Sorry.
Okay.
So you have all
yes,
time, you can
make your point.
You have all the time to comment, Tessie, so you don't have to jump in.
Mr.
And
Puna,
I don't think you've joined up. Have you? Because the kind of enthusiasm that you show.
Which means I've speak against BJP.
Have you jumped the ship?
No, sir, I only
Okay,
speak
now-
for the country, which means I speak against BJP.
Good. Okay, we should all be speaking for the country.
That means I speak against BJP.
Okay, so see, Delhi being in power in MCD has actually given some excuse. We have been in power in MCD for a long time. Certainly, this is this possibly there could be a level of triple incumbency playing against the BJP. But if your numbers are right, and if AAP gets to win Delhi, they will have no more excuses. They have always been claiming that anything that is not happening, they would take credit for MCD schools.
Okay.
But then they would not take blame for anything.
Well, look, whichever way, if these numbers hold, viewers, I agree with you, Mr. Rao. No one is jumping to any conclusion. But if these numbers hold, let me tell you, it's going to be a bit of a loss of face. And let me also tell you that the Aam Aadmi Party will come out and say that any attempt to try and besmirch their image has failed. So be prepared for that. I want to go straight across now to Gujarat, where Mr. Patil is holding a press conference. Let's listen in.
बात कही कि आपकी अपेक्षा से मैं ज्यादा करूंगा। उधर के मतदाता भाई बहनों को आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी साहब के प्रति प्रेम है, स्नेह है, विश्वास है और अपेक्षा भी है और आज तक उनकी सभी अपेक्षा पूर्ण की गई है। इसके लिए उनकी अपेक्षा तो बढ़ती है, उसके साथ साथ विश्वास भी बढ़ता है। पूरे देश में कोई मतदाता जिसको सब कुछ सबसे प्रिय अगर कोई नेता है तो आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी साहब हैं और उसी वजह से
पिछले चुनाव से 2-3% ज्यादा मतदान हुआ, तो उसके कारण जो मतदाताओं में उत्साह था विरम गांव में भारतीय जनता पार्टी के उम्मीदवार को जिताने का, फिर से गुजरात में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनाने का और 2024 में फिर से एक बार प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र भाई मोदी को इस देश का सुकान देने का। तो निश्चित रूप से जो लोगों का भरोसा था, लोगों का विश्वास था, वो इस चुनाव में और मजबूत हुआ। निश्चित रूप से ज्यादा सीटों के साथ सरकार बनेगी।
पिछली बार जो चुनाव हुए हैं, पहले फेज के जो चुनाव हुए थे उसके मुकाबले आज लगभग 5% ज़्यादा मतदान हुआ है। पिछली बार वोटर थोड़े से उदासीन लग रहे थे, किसी वजह से रहे होंगे। इस बार जो 5% वोट बढ़ा है अक्रॉस गुजरात, खासतौर पे मध्य गुजरात का जो इलाका है वहाँ पर सीटें बढ़ी हैं। सेंट्रल ये इसको किस तरीके से आप देख रहे हैं? जो 5% के लगभग जो टर्नआउट बढ़ा है, हो सकता है चुनाव आयोग।
Jay, how do you see Hardik Patel's chances?
Well, he is indeed up for a tough fight because Lakhabhai Bharwad has been an old fighter over there. Last time the BJP got the sitting Congress MLA Tejasri Ben Patel to defect and Lakhabhai defeated her. So very strong candidate from the Congress, as well as there is always a local sort of a political rivalry between Thakurs and Patels. You also see the AP capitalizing on it. So I don't know, in a three-way fight, there are chances of him just slipping out. But we can't say. I still would bet the odds are a little bit in his favor.
Just to give a little bit of a demographic breakup of the seat of Viramgam, it is close to Ahmedabad. It falls in the general Ahmedabad seat. It's a rural area. It has got a very strong agricultural mandi union. So Hardik Patel, when he was in the Congress especially, ironically was campaigning for Lakhabhai because that time he was underage, he couldn't contest the election. This is his first election. So a lot of people are hoping that Hardik, from his personal charisma, is able to get the Muslim vote. There are 5 or 6 big Muslim colonies that are there at the entrance to Viramgam. Then the rest of Viramgam has a very sizable population of the same Ahir. Interesting anecdote I have to tell you that when I went to Viramgam, people told me they have a ear ornament that they wear.
Yeah.
So they said this is because हम लोग गाय चराने वाले थे, हम कृष्ण जी के वंशज हैं. So incidentally, in terms of lineage, Akhilesh Yadav and the Bharwads there had the same lineage क्योंकि वो सब कृष्ण जी के वंशज हैं. They are all people who descend from Krishna ji, who of course is a Gopalak. He used to tend to cows. So strange ways in which this, it's an OBC there, but they're not called Yadavs, they are called Bharwad. You've got Muslims there. You've also got 1 lakh Thakurs there and 38,000 Patidars. So it's actually at number 3. Hardik's own caste and community is at number 3 in terms of the total number of people in Viramgam.
Very, very interesting, very interesting. Viewers, look, in the next 11 minutes, we're going to start projections for Himachal Pradesh. So look out for those numbers. The first state will be called here on Times Now. We'll, of course, unravel with the vote share. But let's very quickly come across to you. Dr. Ranganathan, I sort of painted a larger picture of this particular election, saying that, look, there are actually 5 contexts going on at about the same time. So this is the first real bellwether election we are having after a significant period of time, after, I think, the mid of last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, in fact, you might be right there, Rahul, but you might say I'm from the old guard, but I firmly believe that elections, when they are won, then they're won on the basis of development, especially if you're talking about an incumbent. And elections, when they're lost, they are also, especially in the case of incumbent, and we talked about UP and we talked of so many other, UP for example. Yeah. Ultimately, it boils down to not what have you promised the voter, but what have you provided to the voter. It's provision versus promise.
So then that would pose a challenge, Mr. Poonawalla, to the Congress's narrative. The Congress has been suggesting, and if Himachal and Gujarat, big if right now, viewers, I don't know, starts going the other way. That is, it remains with the incumbent. And that will be historic in Himachal, I think, wouldn't it, Padmaja? After many, many decades,
yeah,
85.
After 37 years.
Okay,
85 Congress repeated.
Absolutely.
Yes. But that being said, remember in this past year, in the last 12 months, BJP has already made history twice.
That's right.
Yogi Adityanath famously in our Navbharat conclave had said, मैं हूं ना, मैं आऊंगा ना. When Navika had asked him कि कभी कोई नहीं आया है पिछले 50 साल से, he said मैं आऊंगा ना. And he did. First they did it in Uttar Pradesh, they did it in Uttarakhand, and who knows?
But I have a very small question.
So hang on, where does that leave? Yeah.
Because, when we're talking of facts and data, just not even one line, half a line. What is the unemployment rate in Rajasthan and what is the unemployment rate in Gujarat?
Yeah, but also the I'm answering, but you can allow me to answer it. But also the CAG report of the government of India, allow me, says that the Gujarat, amongst all the big states, has the worst numbers in actual employment with regards to organized employment. It has the worst numbers.
You didn't answer. Give me the stats.
Now the 6% and 26% that you said,
not 6.
26% and 6%.
2.5%.
2.5%. Gujarat has the highest, has the lowest employment in regular sector. The lowest.
is listening into you.
It has the lowest.
And he's going to contradict you because he's saying you're waffling.
No, I'm absolutely not waffling. On the contrary, where is the employment in Gujarat? Let me just give you the data.
If you had the numbers working for you, even before I finished my question, you would have answered it.
And I gave you the answer.
Okay,
no, Gujarat has the worst employment record.
The point is, what is the Congress going to do and what is it going to say? Is it going to say, look, we're off the mark? Perhaps the people are more satisfied with the provisions that they're getting, and therefore maybe we need to find some other point to score against the BJP. How does it?
I firmly believe the Congress is winning Gujarat and Himachal. Okay. I am looking into your camera and I say this absolutely. But
I know I'm not going to be on the election results.
Okay. GVL Narasimha Rao, very quickly, please come in. Also, Dr. Suman Siraman wants to itching to come into this. Harish Rawat of the Congress also patched. We're going to ask him. He won't waffle. Yes.
No, so Tehseen said, Government of India CAG reports. I think he's quite, he understands CAG is not government report. First of all, please do correct yourself. CAG reports are produced by CAG, a constitutional entity. Okay, and the kind of CAG reports that have trashed UPA government, I think people of this country know very well. We don't see such damning reports any of these days because they don't find such loopholes in our policies and our programs. Coming to the unemployment question, the NSSO unemployment surveys put unemployment in Gujarat at less than 1%. And the CMI reports that Dr. Anand is referring to consistently show Rajasthan as the state having the highest unemployment rate in the country. So if Rahul Gandhi has such great solutions for providing employment, why doesn't he advise Ashok Gehlot? Why doesn't he use this wisdom?
He might.
Rahul is skipping Gujarat.
But he already addressed a rally in Gujarat. He started Bharat Jod from Gujarat. But just one reply to the honorable MP. In Gujarat, the manufacturing is of fake liquor, against whom you've not got any evidence.
Okay.
Ajanta companies like Ajanta, whose name is not put in the FIR. That's the Gujarat model.
Dr. Sumansi Raman, before I bring in Mr. Harish Rawat, the illustrious battle axe from Uttarakhand, also here with us. Very quickly, Dr. Sumansi Raman.
Yeah. Yeah, very quickly. Rahul, I think we should record this particular show for posterity, because the CMIE was a wicked witch. It was out to destabilize the country whenever it pointed out unemployment, which was very high. Now it gives one positive figure for Gujarat, and the CMIE is now the good angel who can be quoted as gospel truth. Please go back and see the number of times we picked holes in CMIE, but that's not the point. I just want to add one last thing.
Exactly the same, that Dr. Ranganathan here is legitimizing the CMIE.
In Gujarat.
Which is, anyhow, look.
In Gujarat.
You know, with the greatest of respect, I think as a wise man had once said, if you beat up data enough, it will tell you what you want to hear. And that pretty much is the case with everyone. You will choose whatever data suits you. But let me go straight across to Mr. Harish Rawat. Harish Rawat जी, बहुत धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए. हिमाचल के बारे में पहले बात करते हैं. आपके अनुमान से कितनी सीटें आ रही हैं?
मेरा अपना अनुमान यह है कि हम 40 से ऊपर आएंगे, और उसके 4 कारण हैं. पहला कारण तो यह है कि हिमाचल हमेशा परंपरा का पालन करता है, और हिमाचल में हर बार सरकार बदलती है, और जयराम एक बहुत कमज़ोर सरकार दे पाए, और इसलिए वहाँ जयराम सरकार के खिलाफ स्पष्ट मूड लोगों का था. दूसरी बात यह है, भाजपा में नॉर्मली बड़ी एकता रहती है, चुनाव के वक्त में किसी तरीके से मैनेज हो जाता है. इस बार जो स्थिति पहले कांग्रेस में दिखाई देती थी इन फाइटिंग की, इस बार हिमाचल भाजपा बिल्कुल डिवाइडेड हाउस थी, कंप्लीटली डिवाइडेड हाउस थी, और वहाँ चर्चा ये होती थी कि एक पावरफुल सेक्शन को मार्जिनलाइज करके भाजपा ने अपने आप को मार्जिनलाइज कर दिया. तीसरी बात ये थी कि बेरोजगारी एंड दैट टू कंपाउंडेड बाय दिस अग्निवीर योजना, उसके कारण जो हिमाचल का सेंटिमेंट था भाजपा के साथ, विशेष तौर पर एक्स आर्मी पर्सनल्स का, वो बिल्कुल खिलाफ चला गया, और उन्होंने भाजपा के खिलाफ इन ब्लॉक वोट किया है और कांग्रेस के पक्ष में वोट किया है. और चौथी बात यह है कि हमने वीरभद्र सिंह जी की वाइफ को, वीरभद्र सिंह जी के लिए हिमाचल में बड़ा भारी आदर है. वो उनके बिना पहली बार उनके एब्सेंस में चुनाव हो रहा था. उनकी पत्नी हमारी प्रदेश अध्यक्ष थी. लोगों ने एज ए ट्रिब्यूट टू वीरभद्र सिंह वहाँ कांग्रेस के पक्ष में वोट किया है. ये 4 स्पष्ट कारण हैं जिसके आधार पर मैं कह रहा हूँ कि हम 40 से ऊपर सीटें प्राप्त करने जा रहे हैं. और मैं पड़ोसी भी हूँ, हमको जो लोगों ने आ करके स्थिति बताई है, और बल्कि मेरा अपना मानना है कि यदि अग्निवीर योजना उत्तराखंड में आ गई होती चुनाव के समय में, वहां भी रिजल्ट्स कुछ अदरवाइज होते.
Let's have a look at the projections. Harish ji, stay with me. Just stay with me. Harish ji, 1 second, stay with me. We are now going to bring out the Himachal projections on screen right behind us. Let's get up and let's do this. Jay, please come. Padmaja, let's get on and let's show some of these projections in just a few seconds. We'll start with the vote share. That's what we're going to do. Why don't you come across? Padmaja, we're going to just look at these numbers. The Himachal projections viewers will be up. We're going to change the background here. This is all Gujarat right now, but we're going to move and we're going to go to the hill state. Harish Rawat, who is one of the architects of the Congress campaign, with us, and we would like him to have a look at some of these numbers. Priya, can we let's run with these numbers?
You know what is also interesting? It is interesting that Harish ji said कि परंपरा रही है कि हमेशा हिमाचल में सरकार बदलती है. आयरॉनिकली वो परंपरा उत्तराखंड में भी थी. हरीश जी खुद वहां पर कंटेस्टेंट थे. वो परंपरा उत्तराखंड में टूट गई.
Okay, well, which is the main contest in Himachal Pradesh? That's the question. BJP versus Congress, 72 BJP versus AAP, 8, independents a factor 2, just 4% believe this. BJP versus Congress versus AAP, 16%. So no one is looking at this as a triangular contest. What's happening here? Let's go back to the numbers. Very quickly. Okay, we've had a bit of an interference.
I think one of our colleagues is through with Sudan Gadvi, who is, of course, the chief ministerial face of the Aam Aadmi Party. Let's cut across to him live. Yes, go on.
Okay, let's, I don't know, there's all sorts of chaos and confusion. I would request the director to just take a deep breath and not get confused. We are sticking with Himachal for a few moments. We're going to have a look at some questions. Let's have a look at some of these questions. Here are some of the vote shares. Let's have a look at the vote share here.
Okay, here is the Himachal exit poll numbers on Times Now. And you've got the vote share projection by Times Now ETG Research. 45.1% with the Bharatiya Janata Party, 40.9% with the Congress, and 5.3% with the Aam Aadmi Party.
This means that this is really a Congress-BJP fight. Jay, are you surprised?
No, not quite. See, last time the vote shares were 42 to 49, right? The BJP is retaining. You know, the most important thing to look at this number, it's about just a 3% dip. But it's from last time. The Congress also has a 1.6% dip. So it's not that the Congress is doing equal. So the AP has pulled in some, but the difference between the two main contenders has been maintained. That's the story. The difference has been maintained.
So pretty much status quo of last time.
Absolutely. And that isn't good news for the AAP, because the AAP is projecting itself as the main challenger, the occupier of the opposition space as the Congress shrinks. And in a state which was bipolar, you expect the Congress, and when they're going up against the BJP, usually they lose to a regional outfit or a third party, and in this case the AAP hasn't picked up.
See, Kangra district, the district which is set to drive mandates in Himachal Pradesh, is bang next to Punjab. Yet the AAP has failed to capitalize. So
this is very interesting.
Okay, so you have the vote share. Quick response, हरीश रावत जी, आप इसके बारे में बताना चाहेंगे कि अभी 45% बीजेपी का वोट शेयर अभी भी बताया जा रहा है हमारे प्रोजेक्शन के हिसाब से, और कांग्रेस अभी भी 40% पर है, 1% कमी हुआ है उनका. हरीश रावत जी,
ये प्रोजेक्शन है, 1-2% का डिफरेंस इसमें संख्या में बहुत बड़ा अंतर पैदा कर देगा. और दूसरी बात यह है, जो अपर हिमाचल है टोटली वोटेड फॉर कांग्रेस, और बीजेपी वहाँ साफ है. जहाँ बीजेपी को वोट मिला है वहाँ वोटिंग ज़्यादा है, क्योंकि वो मैदानी इलाके हैं, वहाँ परसेंटेज ज़्यादा है, ज़्यादा वोटिंग हुआ है. इसलिए ये वोटिंग परसेंटेज जो है नंबर ऑफ सीट्स में रियली रिफ्लेक्ट नहीं करेगा. मैं अब भी अपनी 40 की संख्या में स्टिक करता हूँ. एक आध कम ज्यादा हो सकता है, क्योंकि आज नॉट दैट मैं कोई
बस 2 मिनट में सीटें
आर्ट का मास्टर नहीं हूँ.
वी कैन टैली. यस, डॉक्टर रंगनाथ.
एक कमेंट जो हरीश जी ने, मैं उनकी बहुत कदर करता हूँ, उन्होंने कहा कि जो वोट कांग्रेस की तरफ जाएंगे, 40 से ज्यादा सीटें मिलेंगी, ये वीरभद्र सिंह जी के लिए है, उनकी पत्नी के लिए है. तो मैं उनको ये बता दूं कि कोर्ट ने कह रखा है उनके करप्शन चार्जेस पे कि there has to be a charge sheet that has to be filed, and the wife of Mr. Singh should be taken in for abetment to corruption. तो अगर इन ऐसा प्यार दिखा रहे हैं, ऐसे करप्शन जिसपे कोर्ट ने कहा है कि सीबीआई ठीक है चार्ज फाइल करे, और उस पे कांग्रेस जीतती है, तो मैं चाहता हूं, मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि ये अगेन तहसीन विल बैक मी अप, दिस इज नॉट समथिंग यूनिक. कांग्रेस has always won on the fundamentals of corruption and people choosing corruption.
Quick response, हरीश जी.
जी देखिए, भाजपा जो है अपने को एक वॉशिंग मशीन समझती है. जो भाजपा में है तो वो सब क्लीन हैं, वो सब ईमानदार हैं, और आपके कई नेता हैं, एक नहीं, मैं 1 दर्जन नेताओं को बता सकता हूं जिनके विषय में कोर्ट ने एडवर्स रिमार्क किए हैं, कमेंट किए हैं, लेकिन दे आर योर लीडर्स, स्टिल दे आर योर लीडर्स. आपका जो दृष्टिकोण है, ये कोई
सर, करप्शन चार्जेस तो कोर्ट ने रिमार्क किया है.
कोर्ट ने एक इनिशियल कोई वो दिया है. The matter is still
verbatim quote
the matter is still in the
Veerbhadra
court.
Singh fraudulently and dishonestly signed a memorandum of understanding by antedating it to give an impression it was signed on June 15, 2008. They knew that the MOU not made, signed and executed on them. They should be investigated, and also the wife should be held as an abettor.
Friend, one second. I am not.
Now, Tehseen, this is.
मैं इस पर आपसे कोई
That principle is applied to Jagdish Titler also. That is why you apply every year.
The cases were thrown out of Gujarat for abetting, not giving justice in the
I have to say it's
riots.
very touching to hear that it applied to the Prime Minister. He was innocent until proven guilty, because people were cheering when he was denied a visa. He was already declared guilty in the court of your opinion.
Through the trials out of Gujarat because he is abetting no justice being done.
Anyhow, let's get Jivel Narasimha Rao to quickly respond, because we have to put out the seats, the big number that we're waiting for. Quick response, Mr. Rao.
Padmaja, the case of Mr. Veerbhadra Singh and his corruption has, I think it's based on facts. It's not cooked up like the cases that were really framed up against Prime Minister Modi when he was Chief Minister of Gujarat. All of them have fallen in the courts only because, despite all the efforts by UPA to fix our leadership, Prime Minister Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, there was an attempt to fix all of them, but the CBI was functioning as an extension
Fair
of the
enough.
UPA
That
government.
is an old trope. Let's have a look at the numbers now. Let's have a look at the seat projections. It's important to see how these numbers translate into seats. These are projections, viewers. Remember, this is just an exit poll. 38 seats for the BJP. Remember, the halfway mark is at 68. The total number of seats is at 68. So the halfway mark is 34. So the BJP has a comfortable majority, but creating history if it makes these numbers. 1985, you said, was the last time a political party, the Congress, Padmaja, you were mentioning, had repeated this feat of coming back to power. So Congress is at 28. Now, this would be quite spectacular for the BJP simply because they went in quite a fractured party organization, lot of infighting, lot of pretenders to the big throne, lots of factions. How has this come about?
Largely, Rahul, if you looked at the vote percentage, if we quickly revert to that, take a look at the Aam Aadmi Party's vote share. They had a 5% vote share, but 0 seats. Now, you can bet your last buck that on results day, if these are the numbers that come out, and they most likely will, questions are again going to be asked of who is the B team. Kamaya, khaya kuch nahi, glass toda 12 ana, as they say in Hindi. Ki khaya piya kuch nahi, glass toda 12 ana, wo Aam Aadmi Party ka kahani ho jayegi. Here we have the comparison.
So the BJP...
अरे आप ही का ग्लास टूटता है सर, ग्लास हमेशा आप ही का टूट रहा है, ग्लास जोड़ो यात्रा.
So there has been a direct transfer, if you really look at it, from both the BJP and the Congress. The Congress hit less by the AAP. It's very interesting. Hit less by the AAP. The BJP takes more of the hit. And it gains, and the gains are going to the AAP. The others, if you really look at it, haven't really lost much. It's been a complete no change, status quo sort of situation. So the AAP has actually dented the BJP. What does this mean actually for Gujarat? You don't think this is true?
Because the anti-opposition vote.
Right.
So I don't think that's
true.
true.
Seems to have done is taken some bit of the anti-incumbency vote. That's all. Some
anti-incumbency.
Some bit.
But the BJP with that 49%, almost 50%, it's just a two-horse race. So the AAP that thought that perhaps it is going to be gaining as we go forward from the Congress, well, it's going to get a reality check.
No, and the BJP's performance is far better than one sort of tie election which was there in 1998 when the BJP and Congress both got similar
Dr. Raman. Dr. Raman.
Far better.
Yes, very quickly.
I think the reason why Congress is still a force to reckon with is that it
very
continues
quickly,
to play a soft
Aam Aadmi
Hindutva
Party is
in Himachal Pradesh.
Okay, soft Hindutva in Himachal
Mr.
Pradesh.
Rawat had said those who kill cows have no right to stay in India.
Well, I mean, Kejriwal wanted, the imprint of Ganesha and Lakshmi ji on the currency. So everyone is...
You want to come in?
Two quick points. Rahul, two very quick points.
Yes.
One, I think whoever is sticking their neck out and making a seat projection with a vote share difference of 4 to 5% in a small state like Himachal is extremely brave. My best wishes to them. One. So this is an election that is still very much in play. Anybody who says A or B is winning is certainly taking a huge gamble. So second, very important point. in a state like Himachal, and we've seen this across the country, winning the election and forming the government are two different things. It could very well be that the BJP will form the government, not necessarily because they get an absolute majority, but the majority can be managed, you know. Whereas if the Congress has to form a government, as Rawatji said, 40 plus is a minimum number. If the Congress ends up with 35 or 36, your polls suggest 28. If that is 4 or 5 seats or even 6 seats higher and near the majority or thereabouts, it's not going to be enough. Whereas for the BJP, even falling a few seats short, and then Operation Kamal can come into play. And,
okay, Operation Kamal is coming into play.
Well, Himachal may have a BJP government. I think that's what I predict.
Look, this is Operation Kamal. If the BJP wins and returns, it will be Operation Kamal. It won't be Operation Kamal. But let me tell you, viewers, some other news networks have started projecting numbers from Gujarat also. Suddenly I've caught everyone's attention. It may be allowed, it may not be allowed, who knows? It's 6:30 and the EC had restricted us till 6:30. We, of course, will project Gujarat only after 7 p.m. viewers. We want to go systematically through the Himachal, but I just want to draw your attention to some numbers. Jan Ki Baat, Gujarat numbers, BJP 117 to 140, so a huge ratio, really. 117 to 140, Congress 34 to 51, the AAP 6 to 13. So the AAP really not doing very well, Dr. Ranganathan or the other doctor, Dr. Sumansi Raman.
The sad fact is that from this evening onwards, poor Gujaratis will be branded fascists again.
Okay, they will be branded fascists again. 125 to 130 BJP, that's another poll.
Okay,
and this is a TV9.
We have a poll of polls here for Himachal right behind us. Total 68 on the poll of polls. Of course, times now, ETG says 38-28. 2 for others. PMark says 36-30. 1 for Aam Aadmi Party, PMark is giving, and 1 to the others. So, but pretty much like we said, in the ballpark, plus minus 2 is what our error rate is as well. And here is what the numbers are as we speak.
Let's look at the poll of polls for Gujarat also, if we can put those out. There is the TV9 poll. TV9 has put out a poll, TV9 Gujarat, in fact.
Okay.
And they are saying 125 to 130 for Gujarat, Congress 40 to 50, AAP 3 to 5, others.
Okay, so we'll just go to the poll of polls of Gujarat in just a second. I think both Harish Rawatji and Jivel Narasimha Rao want to quickly talk about this, but we have here the poll of polls for Gujarat, like you were saying, Rahul.
Yes, it looks like these two particular numbers. These two particular numbers. I don't know what this is on top. This we haven't projected. So let's just take this off because we haven't projected Gujarat as yet. Viewers, just very quickly, I just want to tell you a large number of news channels have started projecting certain numbers. Let's just take this off for 30 seconds. Let's go back very quickly to the Himachal outcome. We're going to have a look at this. And let's get quickly back into the POP of Himachal. This is the poll of Himachal.
Yeah, Jivel Narasimha Rao wants to make a point about Himachal and as well as Mr. Harish Rawat. Yes, go on.
No, Padmaja, you see, look at the hypocrisy. Sumansi Raman has no problem if Congress steals a mandate in Karnataka. After getting routed in Karnataka, if Congress, JDS come together to form an unholy government in Karnataka, he would cheer them. He'd say, "Oh wow, what a spectacular political performance." But if it happens in a BJP ruled state, he would say, "Oh, what a murder of democracy."
Let Dr. Raman, fresh from his sweeping victory at MCD polls. Go on, Dr. Raman.
Sorry, there is a huge difference, Mr. Rao. There is a big difference between two parties coming together to keep somebody else out of power. However immoral that may be, that is not the same as procurement of MLAs. I'm sorry, they are two different things, and I hope that you will understand. You have seen this happen in so many states. What happened, for instance, in Maharashtra also was not very ethical on the part of the Congress.
Okay, Mr. Rajgopalan wants to come in. He in fact covers both the ED and CBI. Mr. Rajgopalan, yes.
As procuring MLAs, sorry.
Dr. Raman, yes. Mr. Rajgopalan responding to you.
My understanding of Himachal is Priyanka Gandhi has failed. because Kasim Poonawalla should not angry on me, should not get angry.
Never angry on you.
She has,
over yet.
I am never angry on you. I am
went
taking
to Uttar
Anand to out
Pradesh.
for lunch.
He
Only
went to
condition
Uttar
is we
Pradesh.
cannot order fish. Otherwise, Paresh Rawal will throw us out of the country.
Kasim, she
Beyond
went to
that, we
Uttar
go out for
Pradesh,
lunch.
safai ho gaya.
Okay,
Himachal
failure of
Pradesh,
Priyanka
safai ho
Gandhi. Harish Rawat ji, Mr. Rajgopalan here says, veteran journalist, वो कह रहे हैं कि अगर ये हार का ठीकरा किसी के सर फूटना चाहिए, वो है प्रियंका गांधी जी.
But why failure? She's got a wonderful house. At the end.
हार हो कहाँ रही है? मैं तो अब भी कह रहा हूं आपसे कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा 39 हो सकते हैं, नहीं तो 40 से पार पहुंचेगी कांग्रेस. कांग्रेस वहां सरकार बनाएगी. हाँ, हमको ये डर जरूर है कहीं ये नंबर जो है 35-36 के आसपास हुआ तो फिर भाजपा की जो डर्टी ट्रिक्स डिपार्टमेंट है वो ऑपरेशन में आएगा और वो कुछ मैनेज कर सकते हैं. अदरवाइज पीपुल्स मूड इन हिमाचल इज वेरी क्लियर, दे आर फॉर कांग्रेस forming the government.
Dirty tricks department, but just out of curiosity, just a second. हरीश जी, अभी आप dirty tricks department की बात कर रहे हैं. आप dirty tricks department की बात कर रहे हैं. गुजरात का इलेक्शन भी आपने बहुत करीब से देखा है. गुजरात में AIMIM का जो कैंडिडेट था, उन्होंने अपना पर्चा भर दिया था. उसके अगले दिन उन्होंने कांग्रेस ज्वाइन कर लिया और अपना टिकट छोड़ दिया. तो ये डर्टी ट्रिक्स थी या ये ओके ट्रिक्स थी? AIMIM के कैंडिडेट को जब कांग्रेस में भर्ती कर लिया गया पर्चा डालने के बाद,
he is being misused by ओवैसी. उसने समझ लिया कि मैं वोट कटुआ बनाया जा रहा हूं तो उसने अपने ऊपर जो है ब्लेम लेने के बजाय उसने कह दिया मैं भाजपा का टूल नहीं बनता हूं. लेकिन आप एक बात तो जानते हैं कि मध्य प्रदेश हो, कर्नाटक हो, गोवा हो, अरुणाचल हो, सब जगह, इवन इन उत्तराखंड, they tried to purchase the MLAs और गवर्नमेंट फॉर्म.
इन गुजरात जब कांग्रेस करे तो जमीर जाग जाता है, जब बीजेपी करे तो सूटकेस मिल जाता है. आनंद रंगनाथ.
नहीं, मैं बस यही कहना चाहूंगा कि हरीश जी की मैं बहुत रिस्पेक्ट करता हूं. डर्टी ट्रिक्स की बात कर रहे हैं तो मैं तहसीन को बीच में लाना चाहता हूं बिकॉज ही हैज प्रॉमिस्ड मी अ लंच. तो तहसीन, आप ये बताइए, डर्टी ट्रिक्स की बात कर रहे हैं, ये सचिन पायलट पे सेडिशन चार्जेस किसने लगाए थे?
I am
answer.
I'm answering.
Answer.
I'm saying I
name
never
the
run away
person.
from any answer.
Name the person.
I'm telling you, the Congress government was wrong, and Rahul Gandhi ensured no injustice is done.
That
is Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi. They stand up. They stand up for justice. And Harish Ji will tell you, and
so
I concur with it. Congress is winning Gujarat and Himachal with an absolute majority.
Gentlemen, I find this astounding. Tehseen Poonawalla, please, 1 second. Let's be a little consistent. Just a short while back, when we showed the Times Now ETG poll, the exit poll for Delhi municipal elections, where the BJP was obviously not winning, and there are another poll that also seems to suggest just the same. Tehseen was very happy. There was no operation lotus, floaters, porters, whatever. It was very straight up. The team that has taken on the BJP's hubris, misgovernance is winning. The people are sick of hubris, misgovernance, this entire interference, Delhi, blah, blah, blah. Now, suddenly you have a Himachal poll, and what are we hearing? All the excuses. I think someone needs to take responsibility, and you cannot constantly look across the fence.
But I disagree with these polls. Congress is winning Himachal with an absolute majority.
Okay.
More than 40 seats.
Have a look at this. This is now again Himachal.
It's a POP.
So this is a POP.
Polls, you have 3. The Times Now, PMark, Jan Ki Baat. It's astounding, guys. There's a massive consensus amongst the polls. Yeah. Right? This is 37. The vote shares, even here, the vote shares almost massive consensus. Right?
This is a seat share.
Sorry. Seat share.
Here you have the AAP, you know, not really gaining.
One outlier. One outlier.
You have the Congress at 28, 30, 30.
Jan Ki Baat and PMark as well?
No.
No, not as yet. But let me tell you, certainly the EVMs are not working either. Let me tell you that. No election commission, etc. Now, very quickly, Dr. Sumansi Raman, can you explain why the AAP, in a state where it was hoping for a lot more, borders Punjab, has in some ways a contiguity even with the good people of Delhi as we all go in our summer holidays to Himachal, not seem to gain anything from Kejriwal's presence.
Now, I just want to add to your question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Add.
Now, this is somewhat anecdotal. Apparently, a journalist close to the Aam Aadmi Party said that, that at point of time, they saw that the Gujarat vote share of AP was higher than Himachal, and they just decided to abdicate Himachal completely. I mean, how true is that, and how would you explain it?
They diverted. Exactly. Yeah. I think very clearly, fairly early, the Aam Aadmi Party knew and figured out that they were not getting the same response in Himachal as they were in Gujarat. And even in Gujarat, they did realize, and they do realize, though they won't tell you openly, that the response from the urban pockets was far better than what they were getting in rural parts of Saurashtra and Kutch and so on. So that in some ways would give some hope for the Congress, because the Aam Aadmi Party is not going to get an equal vote share across Gujarat, as we'll see. But I'm going to make two predictions and stick my neck out on this. One, the combined vote share of the Congress plus the Aam Aadmi Party in Gujarat will be equal to or higher than that of the BJP. Prediction one. Prediction two, the BJP's vote share will dip, if marginally or certainly by a couple of % in the final analysis. These are the two predictions. The BJP will win, but the BJP is winning not because of a pro-incumbency vote, but because they've successfully managed a split. I wouldn't say that they have managed, because that would be accusing AAP of being a B team, but essentially they're winning because of the split in the opposition vote.
Okay. Let's very quickly also look at, Padmaja, some projections which are coming through. Very quick, what is it that has made this particular Himachal election, if these numbers hold, of course?
What were the reasons behind it?
What were the reasons?
So what are the main concerns of the people? We went to the people with these questions. In the people's mind, it's a BJP versus Congress. This is not a three-cornered fight, just as yell.
Which has been borne out by the...
It's being borne out by the vote share and seat share. Next, we asked them, what is the main issue that you have at hand? How much development has the BJP undertaken in Himachal Pradesh? 42% said both center and state have done good work, and 37%, mind you, said okay. But the thing is कि okay में ही they just managed to scrape through, which is why you see status quo has been maintained, Rahul. No major gain, no major loss.
Importantly, there is a massive anti-incumbency against the leadership.
Against the CM.
And so, that's really...
Yeah, so Jairam Thakur has reason to worry, and this also bears out, Rahul, what we've been saying. In the election campaign, the BJP says double engine की सरकार, but ये एक बहुत बड़ा engine है, जो फिर छोटे-छोटे डब्बों को अपने पीछे खींच रहा है. So you have a large engine in the form of Mr. Modi, who is pulling along the BJP's juggernaut.
So if this is the real source of the worry, then you might even see a change in the chief minister's face.
So you've had the chief minister change in Himachal, you had the entire cabinet changed in Gujarat, and this thing applies across the board. Now you see more and more elections. How many strong local leaders do you know of the BJP?
So this is exactly as you were saying. Modi and Jairam Thakur is not pulling his weight. Modi is pulling his weight, a vote in Modi's name, everyone is for Modi. So the double engine, this is a small bogey, and that could become problematic.
See, at the end of the day, Rahul, what does Mr. Modi symbolize to the common man? Rashtravad, Vikas. And in a state like Himachal, even if Vikas lags behind a little bit, when you speak to people, they say basically हम राष्ट्रवादी लोग हैं. हम फौज में जाते हैं, हम राष्ट्रवादी हैं, we are simple people, we have simple concerns. There'll be massive grouses against the local leadership because of local level corruption, which is why the changes.
Okay. Who will Himachal Pradesh women voters vote for? And there it's interesting.
Evenly placed.
Evenly placed, but the BJP there in the lead again. But as you said, the AAP is, despite the Delhi model, which was freebie based and won a lot of support from the women in Delhi, hasn't really clicked in Himachal Pradesh.
And also another, because Mrs. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra led the campaign there, women have resonated with the Congress, because one important issue that she raised over there is cylinder महंगा हो रहा है, आपकी जेब कटती है. Now in the hills, women almost entirely, their life revolves around their household expenses.
Okay. Will rebels impact BJP's performance? Well, Yes, no, it's a mixed bag. So the BJP, as I was saying, has a lot to worry about, doesn't it? Let's okay, now let's do very quickly a flip.
Okay.
Padmaja, let's go and have a look at some of the polls. Okay.
Harsh
Mr. Sanghavi is there with us from Gujarat, but let's have a look at some poll numbers that are coming out of Gujarat now. And we have some projections. The P-Mark pollster for Gujarat, that's a very interesting number, gives the BJP 128 to 148.
Yeah.
That's where it is. TV9 Gujarat, Jan Ki Baat.
128-42.
Yes.
Aam Aadmi Party 9. 128-42. Aam Aadmi Party 9 says Jan Ki Baat. TV9 says
127.
All right.
For
128 Jan Ki Baat. 127 TV9 Gujarat.
And
So
P-Mark is 128 to 148 with a 48%.
Okay,
vote
so
share.
basically the takeaway is, Rahul, that 120 plus is roughly what everyone is giving the BJP.
And the AAP is stuck at 210.
But they have opened
10
their account.
In P-Mark Gujarat exit polls, this is what that particular pollster is projecting. Here in Jan Ki Baat, that number is not very high. TV9 is putting AAP, I think, at 3.
Yeah.
So the AAP...
In single digits.
In single digits. 9, I think, in the other one.
Okay, we've got Harsh Sanghavi. Let's go straight across to him. Harsh Sanghavi जी, सबसे पहले 150 प्लस की बात हो रही थी. 120 के रीजन में अभी सारे एग्जिट पोल्स आपको बता रहे हैं, इंक्लूडिंग आवर्स. आपकी पहली प्रतिक्रिया.
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मैं गुजरात की जनता का आभार मानना चाहता हूँ. जिस प्रकार से लोकशाही के ये उत्सव को गुजरात की जनता ने और मजबूत बनाया है, एक ट्रांसपेरेंसी के साथ ये इतना बड़ा चुनाव का आज सेकंड फेज का वोटिंग समाप्त हुआ है. और सेकंड फेज के वोटिंग के समाप्ति के साथ ही कई बड़ी बड़ी बातें करने वाली पार्टियों को भी उनका चेहरा आईना में आज गुजरात की जनता ने दिखा लिया है. गुजरात की जनता और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के बीच के ये संबंध एक नया इतिहास लिखने आगे बढ़ चुकी है. गुजरात की जनता ने देश तोड़ने वाले लोगों को सामने गुजरात जोड़ने वाले लोगों को, गुजरात के हित में, गुजरात की उन्नति में, गुजरात के विकास में मतदान किया है. और उसके सामने मैं देख रहा हूं कि कई एग्जिट पोल्स ने फिर भी कंजर्वेटिव नंबर में भी अगर आप देखते हो तो कई एग्जिट पोल्स में गुजरात की जनता एक नया इतिहास बना रही है. और मैं स्पष्ट ये मान रहा हूं कि गुजरात की जनता और भारतीय जनता पार्टी साथ में मिलके एक नया इतिहास बनाने के लिए आगे निकल चुके हैं.
जितने भी हमने जो नेता थे भारतीय जनता पार्टी के, जो मुख्यमंत्री हैं, गृह मंत्री हैं, उन सबसे बात की थी. उन्होंने कहा था कि आम आदमी पार्टी का कोई अस्तित्व नहीं है. अभी CR पाटिल जी ने 5 मिनट पहले बोला कि खाता खोलेंगे तो भी एक रिकॉर्ड हो जाएगा. ये नंबर दिखा रहे हैं कि भले से ही वो सिंगल डिजिट में है पर खाता तो खुल रहा है. अगले 10 सालों में आपके लिए ये चिंता का विषय बनेगा?
अरे आप ये विषय को भूल जाइए. आप पहले जो चिट्ठियां आपके पास मीडिया के पास जो इकट्ठी हुई है, वो चिट्ठियां अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने जो आपको दी थी ना, वो संभाल के रखना. वो चिट्ठियों के बारे में बात होनी चाहिए. वो चिट्ठियों में जो आंकड़े लिखे थे, वो चिट्ठियों का क्या हिसाब है, उसकी बात हम 8 तारीख को करेंगे. मुझे तो बहुत दुख हो रहा है. फर्स्ट फेज का चुनाव खत्म होते ही अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने मेरे राज्य के उनके दोनों युवा नेताओं को बोल लिया था कि 8 तारीख को शाम को आपको इस्तीफा देना है. मुझे पता चला कि उनके साथ बहुत ही गलत तरीके से व्यवहार हुआ है. जिस प्रकार से उनके साथ व्यवहार हुआ है वो बहुत ही दुखद बात है. मेरे राज्य के युवा जो सामाजिक सेवा से जुड़ना चाहते थे, उनको कहीं ना कहीं गलत पार्टी जरूर से पकड़ ली. पंजाब और दिल्ली के जो लोग हैं, उनकी मेहनत की जो कमानी थी, वो कमानी गुजरात में प्रोपेगेंडा में जो इस्तेमाल हुई, उसके बाद भी गुजरात में जब रिजल्ट नहीं मिल रहे हैं तो इन्होंने हमारे गुजरात के युवाओं के साथ इस प्रकार का व्यवहार किया. 8 दिसंबर को ये स्पष्ट हो जाएगा. भारतीय जनता पार्टी और गुजरात की जनता गुजरात की सेवा में एक ऐतिहासिक मोड़ पे आगे बढ़ेंगे. थैंक यू.
हर्ष सांघवी जी, आप जो कह रहे हैं बुरा व्यवहार हुआ, किन के साथ? क्या आप कह रहे हैं कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने इसुदन गदवी और गोपाल इटालिया के साथ दुर्व्यवहार किया है? किसको इस्तीफा?
हाँ, उसी प्रकार से आपने उनको पूछा नहीं?
उन्होंने कहा इस्तीफा दे दीजिए.
हेलो,
आप कह रहे हैं कि दोनों आपके जो नेता हैं उनको कहा कि इस्तीफा दे दीजिए, क्योंकि केजरीवाल जी ने तो लिखित में दिया है कि गोपाल इटालिया भी जीतेंगे, इसुदन गदवी भी जीतेंगे.
अरे भाई आपके पास वो पत्र है ही ना, आप वो पत्र संभाल के रखना। 8 दिसंबर को जब वो रिजल्ट्स बाहर आ जाए तब हम वो पत्र के बारे में बात करेंगे। लेकिन मेरी आपसे विनती है कि आप उनसे ये भी पूछना कि इस प्रकार का गुजरात के युवाओं के साथ व्यवहार क्यों किया गया।
ओके,
तो बहुत गलत
सांघवी साहब, ये तहसीन पूनावाला जो कांग्रेस के समर्थक हैं आपसे एक सवाल पूछना चाहते हैं, पूछिए।
हर्ष साहब, आपसे पॉलिटिकल सवाल नहीं पूछूंगा, હું પણ ગુજરાતનું છું। एक જ क्वेश्चन आपसे पूछूंगा सर, ओरेवा कंपनी के मालिक को आप कब अरेस्ट करोगे जिसने मोरबी घटना में इतने लोगों की मृत्यु की? ये आप गृह मंत्री है, ये आपका कर्तव्य है, कब अरेस्ट होगे वो? आपकी तो डबल इंजन की सरकार है सर।
तहसीन पूनावाला, मैं आपको कब से सुन रहा हूँ।
जी सर,
मैं आपको कब से सुन रहा हूँ और मुझे सही में आप पे दया भी आती है और आप पे कई बार हंसी भी आती है। जिस प्रकार से ये आंकड़ों के बाद भी आप कांग्रेस की सरकार बनाने के बड़े बड़े जो वादे कर रहे हैं वो मैं आपको सुन रहा हूँ, कई समय से सुन रहा हूँ। और जो मोरबी ब्रिज की आपने बात की तहसीन जी, मेरी और आपकी राजनीति में बहुत बड़ा फर्क है। मैं लोगों की मौत पे राजनीति नहीं करता हूँ मिस्टर पूनावाला। मैं वहाँ पे हाजिर था, मैं ज़मीन पे हाजिर था, हम लोगों के बीच में थे। और मैं आपसे विनती करता हूँ कि इस प्रकार की मौत पे राजनीति करना बंद कर लो। इसके कारण ही कांग्रेस को कहीं पे लोग एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते हैं। आपको मैं 2 हाथ जोड़ के विनती करता हूँ, लोगों की मौत पे इस प्रकार की मजाक नहीं
बनाएं। One second, there is no doubt.
हमारी।
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sanghavi. Thank you, Mr. Sanghavi. There is no doubt, viewers, that there was a massive tragedy that took place in Gujarat on the eve of this election. Let's not beat around the bush about that. One feels that the government's response was short of expectations. Let's hope that there is justice to all of those who lost lives. Unfortunately, whether we like it or not, Dr. Ranganathan, it doesn't seem to have. I haven't looked at the Times Now ETG survey, which is going to go region-wise, and we're going to focus on some of these areas which have been impacted. At least as of now, it doesn't seem it resonated in the election, which is a tragedy, actually. Perhaps a greater tragedy.
No, absolutely, and I have to say this, I disagree with my friend Tehseen most of the time, but he's absolutely right. Yeah. I mean, in this case, it's a tragedy, and I've said it on day one, Rahul, on your show, which the fact is that, when no minister, leave alone the Home Minister or the Minister of Tourism, Minister of Railways, Minister of, all those domains that the bridge came under, no minister resigned or was forced to resign. There's obviously the muck goes really deep down. So Tehseen is absolutely right there.
And what really upsets me, viewers, at the end of the day, these issues don't really go to inform a vote. Now, I just hope that that changes, because we are not talking about isolated cases here. This is pretty consistent across the country. There is no one government greater at fault than the other. But unfortunately, it's people like us who stop asking the questions of our government. So while Tehseen, your question is valid, I do believe you're being a bit selective. Nonetheless, let's for the moment just say that the people of Morbi deserve better. And one hopes that when the next administration comes in, they do take action.